what Elizabeth was saying made me think a bit about the nature of teaching in a graduate program. I had this whole idea that funny wasn't cultured, we couldn't write funny. And I ran into Tobias Wolff at a party, who at that time was like running into an archangel. He thought, oh, and I said, I just want you to know, I'm not going to write the funny stuff. I'm going to write real literature. And I think Toby just waited a beat, and he kind of looked over his glass and said, well, good, but don't lose the magic. And I went, yeah, well, why would I do that? Of course. And then went away for 7 years and did exactly that. But that was an incredible teaching moment, because he could have said, you should write funny. But I think he felt that that had to work its way out, so he just gave me that little nugget. So one of the things about the Syracuse program, and I love this, is that we get them for 3 years, small program, pretty relaxed. There's not a whole lot of pretense because it doesn't hold in Syracuse. So you can watch your students for 3 years in social situations, at difficult moments of their life, in formal situations, and if you're a smart teacher, you can just watch and say, oh, I see. Okay, I see the range of her ideas about herself. And at a critical moment, you can come in and just, lightly correct. It doesn't even have to be in a class. You can just say, I see this tendency, let me work with it in this off-the-page way. And it's really a wonderful gig for a teacher, because it's kind of low pressure, and you can bring all of your instincts to bear, and also all of your affection. You see somebody for 3 years, and they're so
it's
wonderful.
It's like watching a sunflower open or something.
It really is, and so the affection then helps you to make the right corrections at the right moment. And sometimes you don't even know we did it.
I was thinking of a student who came to me once in a class. I've told this many times. Who came to me, and he was writing all these these stories, memoir pieces that they were very kind of Pynchon-esque. And this kid was kind of a redneck kid, and he was in this class with all these kind of hyper-intellectual, super smart kids. I remember him coming to me and saying, this when you're writing here and they're like chopping wood, and that's very interesting. And then you've got all this, I don't get this part, I said, tell me what you're trying to do. And he said, well, it's sort of like when Pynchon and Crying of Lot 49, blah, 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 blah. I said, oh, I thought you were kind of a Cormac McCarthy guy, He's like, oh, well, he's my favorite writer. I was like, oh, well, what Pynchon do you really like? Well, I don't read him that much. Oh. I said, well, then why would you want to do this? And he's like, well, that's what these guys are doing, and I feel like they're smarter than I am. And I'm afraid I'm not smart enough. And I said, I can help you with this. They are smarter than you. They were. They were smarter, and they were better educated. The smartest one doesn't write the best books. Right. Lucky for us.
Right. Yeah. In fact, it might be the opposite.
No, but I mean, to some extent, it's that thing of looking for the nature of your talent.
Right.
Right. Yeah, I remember you writing this very experimental book, the People of Paper, and it's totally opposite from what I would do. But having such admiration for your courage, Sal, in doing that, it was completely outside of my rubric.
What's strange is, I remember George saying, you sort of, you step away from your inefficiencies. You said it in a funnier, more George-esque way. But this idea, I thought you had to become versed and better read, but then George was like, well, there's sneaky ways around it. And I feel like, and there's that energy spent trying to get better versed, maybe, you're better read person, more educated person, but not necessarily a better writer. But Syracuse was like, well, maybe you should spend that energy trying to go around it and see what happens.
Right.
So, I don't know if that's a good plug for Syracuse. Avoid being versed.
Don't be versed.